Hello, I'm Sherry Galvanized, and I'm coming to you live from the space, doing my recording at a different time today. Thursday at 11:11 is my scheduled time, and I'm recording this so that it will still go up at the normal time, but unfortunately, at the time you see this, I am going to be in a meeting. It happens from time to time. There's nothing I could do to change that. But I do want to talk a little bit about distractions. That's part of my topic for today. Sometimes you have these plans to stay on track with your goals, but distractions come along. How do you deal with it? What do you do? How do you handle fears, for example? Fears and distractions. I want to talk a little bit about that. The main thing is you cannot let it take you off track internally. You still have to know and stay on track internally. So how do you do that? I mean, I'm sure there's a number of ways, but I'm going to talk to you about a couple in particular today. One is Soul Synch meditation. I'd like to mention that. I'm going to put a link to it in the comments section so you can go to it and see it in its entirety. But there's a part of the Soul Synch meditation where you inhale and then when you're exhaling, instead of just exhaling plain, you make a humming sound. And you do it 8 times and you count on your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Slowly, of course, moving your fingers with each breath. So those two things together, when you do them on an ongoing basis, can be an example of an anchor that helps you when you get distracted. Let's say if you are somewhere where you can make the humming noise and a fear or a trauma or a distraction comes about, you can tune it out. Focus on your breath, focus on the humming sound, and make it louder than the distraction or the fear or the trauma. Literally try to drown it out. Now, let's say you're not in a place where you can make this humming noise, and doing so would not be the best thing to do at this particular time. Well, if you're pairing the humming sound with your finger movements, right? After you've been doing that or something like that for a long time, you could just do the hand movements alone, and that's creating an association with meditation, putting yourself in that state. So you could be looking attentive and normal on the outside, but on the inside, you're meditating. And part of how you get yourself into that state is doing something that you do while you're meditating, and then doing that action kind of takes you back. So pairing an association. Another thing is, I'm always putting up these cards, right, when I'm doing my show. Well, I have other cards that I use, and I have one card of my own that I wrote in my own handwriting. It says, I am the creator of my reality. And I've done a practice before where I hold up that card, and at the same time that I'm holding up the card, I'm looking in the mirror and saying the statement to myself. So something like that could be also very helpful. And then eventually, if you're doing it in the same mirror for the same amount of time and you're doing it repetitively, again, you can bring your mind back to that. You can imagine yourself looking in the mirror. You can say the words to yourself. You take yourself to that meditative state instead of continuing to go on and on with the terrible story of how bad everything is and how bad you feel. There is a time and a place to feel bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you shouldn't just drown out all your feelings and ignore and negate all of them. But continually staying in an old story and an old pattern is one of the ways that keeps you back from moving forward. So you have to use some discretion. And that's a lot for me to get into in this video because I don't know you personally. I'm just making some generalized statements. So you might want to talk about this one on one with a professional person or somebody who you can really trust, who knows your story better than I do. And I think there was one other thing on my mind. I'm getting ready to close out here in a moment. But basically, I just want to address the fact that when you are making changes, and I hope that you are, it is natural that resistance is going to come. Totally natural. It doesn't mean you should stop, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. If you are making changes, you are going to be out of your comfort zone. That's normal. You're going to feel sometimes uncomfortable with what you're doing. You're going to feel like quitting. You're going to feel like you're going to have thoughts and you're going to have feelings that make you want to quit. And I'm just saying that if you quit, then the change is going to stop. If you keep going, then the change will move forward, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but change is real. Change does happen. It's real. So don't let those occasional bad moods, negative thoughts, or negative input from others take you off track. And if it does take you off track, don't let it keep you off track. Find those methods that will help you to get back on track. And I look forward to hearing from you and seeing how that works for you. You can contact me. It's great. I love it when people contact me. Let me know how it's going. And I'll see you next week at the regularly scheduled time, Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a great week. Bye for now.